right?
Let's bring us back
about professionality as a consultant for all of our voices.
ATTITUDE, Pele.
And that's not cool. And I have a right to tell you that as well.
Okay, let's get back on track here.
Just like your opinion. Just like your opinion, girl. Girly, girly.
So it was my mistake in allowing the conversation to continue. Robbie is on the project team, and so this is a Q&A, and it didn't sound like you and I finished with all of your thoughts. So I thought this would be time to extend your story, which is why I allowed it to go on. I understand. I'm just explaining for the audience that's important.
Yeah. And we don't have to get bent out of shape.
So, sorry?
I don't think it's bent out of shape. It's just, if you're going to be the hosts of this, it's important to nip things and keep things, settled under guidance. Because if you chose to allow that, that's why it happened. So be careful on how you go across the community. If you're going to go across the community, the island, the state, wherever you're going to go. I think that those kind of things need to be addressed.
We're not going to talk about that because now I'm going to take control, right? So I'm going to take your advice.
Okay, Mr. Attitude, brah. Shoots, cuz. Fucking. Shut up, Jasmine.
So we're going from here to two.
And that's what you invited us for, right?
Exactly.
Are we going to move on or what?
Okay, I'd like to say something. Okay, first of all, I'm an American citizen, and I want to say that actually the Hawaiians would have all kind of money, assets, land, everything, if the United States would do the honorable thing and give them back their country. And I wanted to say that there's been a Coast Guard incident report filed against Puna Geothermal or not for using SF6 as a new addition to their injection permit, which is highly toxic. They're using chemicals that cause the shutdown of the mitochondria of the brain. And there's a long list of things that apparently were not gone over properly with the material safety data sheet. So I used to work for the county, and Emily Nioli, one of the original pros, had a big old afro. She was my boss. She had me pull the file for Puna Geothermal Venture. So the catalyzed sulfide that they're using, they admitted to using it up until the lava flow. That shut down the mitochondria of the brain and some other issues and killed the growing points of plants. So the issue here is, what is an indigenous clean model? I have the right to speak because I'm a mixed breed, okay? And no matter what the color of my skin or whatever, I have the right to clean air, clean water. The issue is right now in this indigenous model, whatever you want to call it, it's still geothermal. So geothermal has certain issues with it, any geothermal plant. And that's where these chemicals come in. So it's basically scaling, anti-rust, oxygen, scavenging, things like that. So in your indigenous model, what chemicals are you going to use or not use? Which actually, if you're for clean water, we have groundwater contamination issues already from the geothermal. It's not a closed loop system. Is your system closed loop? What could actually, if whatever goes in is going to come out. So that's where this emergency response plan, any geothermal plant, I don't care where you are, at the wellhead is 1,300 parts per million. They had a blowout of 180 pounds of hydrogen sulfide per hour for 31 hours. They couldn't shut it off. That was a 1991 blowout. So it turns out that EPA stated, oh, they should have evacuated the whole up to 10 square miles. Okay, any geothermal plant. And let me tell you, DHL, under Section 203C, you cannot do any activities, DHL homesteading, anywhere where there's certificate land. So up on Monroe Road, where the King's house is, they can't actually do anything because it's already been stamped. There's an heir of Kamehameha's granddaughter living there, and you're not gonna put the geothermal there, you're not gonna contaminate 9 aquifers. And you're not gonna go in and try to sell to people something like, okay, I originally thought geothermal was a great idea. I did, but you know what? Even EPA said, not the way they're doing it in Puna. Now, I am trained in environmental science, OSHA, cultural resource management, the Pentagon Environmental Branch consultation. You have every right as Kanoe to have federal undertaking consultation on all this right here. So the thing is, when it comes to Lyman,
you're beyond your 2 minutes.
Okay, Lyman doesn't own the land. Who really owns the land? It's the Hawaiian people. It's under the allodium of the kingdom, whether there's a sovereign in place or not. Where are the konohikis? Where are the heirs? Where are the true stakeholders? Where there are people from Kamehameha in this room, okay? But they're not going to be given their true voice under the state of Hawaii. It's a conflict of interest. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mahalo, mahalo.
So I have 2 questions. And the first one is, I'm still trying to understand